In this episode, I sit down with Kathy Nelson of Kabuki Spa in San Francisco to talk about getting comfortable with aging, as well as intuitive wayfinding in business.
Welcome to the Flower Lounge, a place for conversations with wildly creative people and a little plant-loving wisdom to help you experience life in full bloom. I'm Katie Hess, flower alchemist and founder of LOTUSWEI, and I believe in a world where we're all living at our personal edge.
So we're here at Kabuki, and I just wanted to ask you about your background and a little bit about what you do here and about you.
Okay. I started in the industry in 77. I don't know if you know this, but I had this spa that we put into a Baptist church.
Whoa.
Yeah, and we called it Miracle Baths. It was fabulous. And it was this real, kind of hippie community, great little place, but 77 to 87 before anybody had spas. And so it was a very unique moment in time and a very unique place in time. And people still come up to me on the street and go, Miracle Baths. And I'm like, yeah. And so it's so great and that was just up the street. I've kind of moved down the street. Then I went and was up in Calistoga for a year. Then I kind of got the corporate gig at the Claremont. And it taught me a lot about how to be in this world in a very different way. But it wasn't the best fit. But I was there 7 years.
Wow.
And then I was sitting at my kitchen table one day and kind of like, what am I going to do here? I was kind of in a place of, a lot of people had passed. It was during the time of the plague, and a lot of people had passed. I was in a real vulnerable place in my life. And Chip Conley called me and said, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm kind of thinking about some stuff. And he said, what about Kabuki? And I said, that's it. That's exactly it. So
Why was that exactly it?
Because I had been sitting about a year before with a girlfriend of mine at my table, and she said, what do you want to do now? And I said, I think I want to do something with Chip Conley, and I don't know what it is, but I think something's going to happen with him. And I'd been to Kabuki several times as a client and thought, this place just needs some love. It just needs just a little bit here and a little bit there, and it could be the best place in the world. Because it had theater carpeting.
Wow.
It had been run by the AMC Theater Corporation. They ran it like a movie theater. They didn't know what they had.
Whoa.
It was, and it didn't have any sense of grace or hospitality to it. So we came in, we did just kind of a quick 3-month overhaul, took out some of the funkiness and just put in more earthiness to it, gave it some soul, and opened it in 99.
Wow.
I've been there since. So what do I do there? Everything. Yeah, this morning I was cleaning a the fountain, But, so, like any spa director, I'm responsible to the owners, to the guests, and to the employees. And those are often, I think the hardest part, Katie, is being able to really balance having a healing place and making money. How do we make that balance? And as women, I think that we have a really interesting way to be able to do that. And that's kind of always the balance. Okay, it's not just about giving our love, giving our heart. We have to work with our heart, but we also have to be very intelligent about the way we do that.
Yeah, we just took a little tour and we saw the treatment rooms are amazing with the traditional Japanese bathtubs that are, how deep are those?
The furrow tubs, I think they're 4 feet deep.
Wow.
And it's amazing because the largest person can fit in there and feel so comfortable. But anybody, you just soak in this green tea.
And it comes up to here.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So you were telling me about, you can go in and someone will scrub your back?
Yeah.
Tell me about
So
that.
the spa attendant takes you into the room, sits you on a stool, then they scrub your back, and then they take buckets of warm water and pour it over your back. It's the most amazing feeling.
Wow.
And then you get in the tub. They put in the sea salt and green tea. We get this organic green tea from Canada. It's fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
And you just soak for 20 minutes, and they put a cold cloth on your head, and it's just like your ultimate bath. Wow. Then they help you out, and the massage therapist comes in and does your massage in that room.
Wow.
It's remarkable.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the rooms are really unlike other rooms that I've seen. They're really beautiful. So there's tatami mats on the floor.
It's this great product from Sweden called Bolon that is recycled plastic.
Oh, cool.
So it cleans really well.
Oh, cool.
And they last. I love that product.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was telling you earlier that I usually come on a Friday if I'm coming to San Francisco, so that I can eat in Japantown and come to Kabuki. This is like must-stop here place.
Which I always love that you do. Yeah.
When I come to the Bay. So can you just describe in your own words, like, what is the magic of the bathhouse?
Oh, gosh. Like I was saying to you earlier, it shouldn't be like that. You're on Geary and Fillmore. It is not a pretty corner in the city. There's nothing magical about there, but you step in that atrium and you're transformed immediately. There is an energy in that place that has always been there. It was built in the 60s, redevelopment, owned by a Japanese corporation. In the break room where we were was the original sushi bar that connected the dinner theater and the sushi bar with the men's bathhouse.
Wow.
It has this very interesting history. And then the theater closed, it became another theater, and the theater company ran it. But there is I've had different psychics in there doing readings, and no one can exactly tell me what it is, but there is an energy in there that is just so healing. But as you know, part of that healing is the liberation of women's bodies and the celebration of the body, and just really being able to celebrate the body. I one time had a young woman write me a note. She was from Minnesota. She'd been with her aunt. She said, I got to see other women's tummies and know that other women have tummies. And I thought, if I can heal one young woman's body image from, we're not all that you see in magazines, but to have the comfortableness of walking around with other women, it's amazing.
So for reference, you're naked.
Yeah. You're naked.
Strip down, you're naked.
You're naked. Yeah.
And so you alternate, right? So you have women on certain nights, men on certain other nights. And no clothing. So you're walking around naked with all these other women.
Yeah. And I think in some ways it's a little bit problematic to have one facility and not two, like every other spa in the world, a men's side, a women's side, but it works. And Tuesday's co-ed. It's a very different vibe, very different energy. People do it, and they like that.
And you wear your suit that day.
You wear your suit that day. I've never done it. It's not me, but I think just there's something so healing about seeing other women and really walking around in that space. It's beautiful.
Liberating. Just
very liberating.
Everyone's got bodies. They're all pretty much the same thing, different shape sizes.
Yeah. And everyone gets to feel pretty good about it. Yeah.
So you walk in, and there's the dry sauna, the steam sauna, which is my favorite, the hot tub, the cold plunge.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys offer these little salt cups, so you can
scrub yourself.
And cucumber water, and you know, it's so interesting because we were just trying to film in there, and it was kind of dark.
Yeah.
But I realized in that moment that it's not about the external appearance.
No.
Kabuki is about coming in,
experience,
and going in here, because also you have this sort of, you want people to be quiet, right? So there's the gong.
There's the gong.
What is that? How does that work?
I know. Someone just told me that they had a T-shirt made up that said, I got gonged at Kabuki, which I think I want to sell those. That's so great, right? So the gong is, other guests can ring it to say if it's being noisy. And some people just can't get it, that it's such a moment to go internal and not be chattering.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, my routine is always take a shower, then dry sauna, and it's time to say prayers. It's time to really breathe, go inside, and then plunge in the cold pool. And then when I sit down to scrub, I use that salt to just neutralize any negativity that I'm carrying.
It's so interesting you say that, because every time we come here, it's the same visualization. I don't know if that's just something that's arising in people's minds because you planted that seed, but every time we come here, it's always like more than just exfoliation.
Oh no, it's not
like
that.
Visualizing all the, anything that's not harmonious.
Yeah, down the drain.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what salt does for us. It neutralizes the radiation, but there is something so healing and special about just really taking that negativity and down the drain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's powerful. It's powerful.
It is.
I mean, if you've had like a long day out, or you've been in areas that you just feel funky, funky energy.
It's there. Yeah.
It's quick.
It's quick.
You feel it immediately.
Mm-hmm. You do. Yeah. I can't say that I've ever walked out of just using the baths, even for 30 minutes, and not felt different. It just lifts your spirit. It does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're making prayers and making wishes and making it more than what's just the external appearance of it.
Yeah. So then we have the little rocks. People love the rocks, the little stones. Mm-hmm. And so you get to take and put your intention in that stone and take that out with you as well. And people love that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your favorite treatments.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really important to me that we have a menu that is easy to read, not stressful, it's small, and B, that everything is therapeutic on there, and that it really has an intention of healing no matter what kind.
Do you know when Lisa first came, she quit her job and she was starting this new chocolate business, and so she came for this big, what's it called? Fancy food show.
Yeah.
So as a surprise, she was staying at Kabuki. So as a surprise, I got her the seaweed wrap. You still have that?
We do.
You do?
Yeah.
It sounded amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. We have 3 wraps.
Yeah.
And one is a green tea, one is a seaweed, and one is a ginger.
Wow.
Excellent. Yeah. And then, so I kind of base everything on we call it a Pan-Asian, but some place from Asia. Mm. So we have the Ayurvedic treatment from India, which is amazing, beautiful, but a lot of people do an Ayurvedic treatment, but we get to end it with that furrow tub. So you've got all those yummy oils on you, and you get to just go sink in and let that oil really penetrate. I had a dream about that, and that's how that one happened.
Wow.
Yeah, which was great.
Wait, say that again. You had a dream about that.
I did.
I know about your dream.
Well, it was just we were doing the training for the Ayurvedic, and was like, okay, and then and then they go out and they go in the baths and they go in the steam. And I was like, I just had a dream that of closing it all, of really sealing those oils in those tubs was, and I had an Ayurvedic practitioner there. I was like, that's brilliant. Why didn't we ever think of that before? And I was like, yeah, this is it. I don't know, just sometimes.
So you weave your intuition into the business.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you can't do something for 14 years and be who I am and not. I feel like I've given that place such a foundation that I could leave tomorrow and it still would be a great place. Mm-hmm. I know people get nervous about that, but I still feel like there's a foundation there, and we'll always have a little cornerstone of me here and there. Yeah.
And then the other treatments?
So we do one from Bali called a LOTUSWEI, which is this. It's so fabulous. Yeah. So it's a traditional bridal treatment, as you know, but when I was in Bali, I got to buy the really pretty cloths. So we decorate the table with the beautiful cloth. There's a beautiful tray that's presented to you. And then the thing that I love about this treatment, so it's jasmine frangipani oil, light exfoliation with turmeric and rice, and then slather you in yogurt. It's just, and then a bath with flower petals.
Wow.
It's amazing. Wow. And the thing I love about that treatment is that the therapeutic value is that it makes you feel so beautiful. You really get to access your goddess in that one. I don't know a woman who couldn't feel just divine afterwards. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. We have a great foot treatment that you lay on a column of self-heating mud that's bubbling all along your reflex points.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this one.
Yeah. Then they do a great foot massage. They wash your feet, and then they conclude it with a menthol peppermint. It's a gel, actually, so it's really stimulating at the end and cooling.
Wow.
Amazing treatment.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And then we do great shiatsu. We do Thai massage. We do, traditional Swedish. That's the big one. Facials, all the spa stuff. But let me think if I'm missing any other treatments.
What's the most popular?
Massage. Yeah.
And is bath? What's your proportion? You have more people taking a bath than getting a massage?
So on any given day, there's about 50-50, about really maybe 40% massages, 60% bath clients, just bath clients. But the revenue turns out that, it's 20% bath clients, 80% massage. But the bath is just, it's what we're known for. It's so great. Anyone can access it.
How many people come in through the door every day, do you think, to go to the baths?
Baths, on a good day, about 100.
Wow.
But we only let 50 in at any time, and usually about 10 of those are getting massages, so it never gets too crowded back there.
It's kind of exclusive. Like, you're at a point where you almost need to make a reservation now, right?
Yeah. Which we just started that. You can make a reservation just for the bath. We just added that in.
And so for only $25,
$25.
Right? You can come in.
Yeah.
For how long can you stay?
As long as you want.
Wow.
As long as you want.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think, you don't want to get depleted. You want to do it long enough that you really have your intentions met, but you don't get depleted. But I think, it's just such a good thing for people to do, because you could do it weekly.
Oh yeah, if I lived here, I would come here every week. I was just recently at a Korean bathhouse.
Yeah, which I love.
And I was in Baltimore, and I was looking around at the other women who are Korean, and even the women who are like 75, 80 years old, I didn't see a centimeter of cellulite anywhere on their body.
Right? Beautiful,
like, it's either the diet or that you come here every week, or both.
Or both. I know.
It's such a even just from a physical standpoint of detoxing, it's an amazing.
It does. I've taken a sauna almost weekly for about 30 years, and I have to say, it is just, it's changed me in such an interesting way. Yeah.
Do you come here?
I do. Yeah. I use it on Fridays usually.
Wow.
Yeah. But I've always come here. When it was Kabuki Hot Springs, I came here. Not as often, of course, but yeah. No, and it's a trick, because to be able to really say my prayers and do what I need to do in there, and be myself, and not look around and go, well, why isn't that clean? Why is that towel over there?
That's a practice.
Yeah,
right?
That's a practice. Yeah.
Separate.
Yeah, you have to though.
And
and we have acupuncture.
You have acupuncture?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
You have an acupuncturist on staff?
We have 3.
Wow.
I just had a treatment last week he did 25 minutes of acupuncture on me, and then 25 minutes of massage. I was feeling just stuck. I was like, I don't know. I'm in this inertia, stuck place. Yeah. So he worked on my neck and on my feet, and I felt like $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we chose, because we're featuring you as Kabuki, and you're in the city, and you're not necessarily in a natural environment.
Exactly.
So we chose to pair the Horsetail Elixir with Kabuki, because you have that beautiful bunch of horsetail right at your front door to welcome people. And I think it's so cool that in our conversation you've used words that are what Horsetail embodies, which is about foundation.
Interesting.
It's about creating a strong foundation. It's also about getting people unstuck. And determination, perseverance, feeling like you have what it takes. So ironically, it sounds like, you're creating all of those, you're a perfect representation of that, because you've created this great foundation for people, and it's a place where people get unstuck every week. You could get unstuck every week. That is
so true, because I read the Horsetail description. I was like, what? I don't get these words. I'm going to take it. And then, but when you say that, that's exactly what we get to do there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I was going to ask you about a time maybe in your life when you felt like you didn't have what it took, and maybe how you got through that. Can you think of any?
I can. Mm-hmm. So when I was in Calistoga, I had the great opportunity of setting up Indian Springs, but it wasn't the right fit between myself and the owners. It was, and I was sad. I was so sad, and I didn't know what I should do. And this couple from Ohio came to the front desk, and they said, we need to take you out to dinner tonight. And I was like, oh no, I'm way too busy. I'm far too busy. I couldn't possibly do it. I'm way too busy. And they're like, no, you have to come to dinner with us. And I said, okay. So I did it. And they sat there and they said, you need to get out of here. This isn't nothing is right here. And you need to leave. You need to figure it out, and you need to leave. Wow. And I went back and I filled one of those big tubs there with mineral water, and I got in and I prayed, and within 3 days I was gone. Wow. But they were angels. That was the second time in my life that angels have come in. I mean, these people, they were there was no reason, but sometimes I think if you're that scared and stuck and all you can do is pray, something's going to happen.
Some signs, some answers, indication.
Yeah. And for me, it's almost always been around water and prayer. Those are the things that can get me out.
So maybe it sounds like in that case, it wasn't that you didn't have what it takes, it just wasn't a good fit.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it I was kind of walking around saying intentions of, I am a good person, I am, I can do this. I was chanting that I was okay, but it wasn't coming through, and it felt like I didn't have what it took. That's what it felt like, but it wasn't a good
But it's an interesting insight, because we might be really hard on ourselves in certain situations and say, like, I should do this, or I should be that, or I should be more this. And maybe there's an easier way. Just let go and go towards where it's effortless, fun, and creative, and water. Yeah, like water, if we could. Yeah. It takes a little bit to get there, but yeah. So I'm thinking about the horsetail, like when I was a kid, we'd pull apart all the little pieces and put them back together. How do we know that something is a good fit? And how do we move towards more of that in our lives?
Yeah. It's so physical, isn't it? Doesn't it? Your body will always tell you if you can listen to it. But I'm not sure. I mean, that's a hard thing to do.
How does your body tell you? How do you use that as a tool?
I think fear for me is always in the belly. There's always, that's where I can feel it. It's, can I breathe well? Is my belly okay? That's where fear, and for me, lands. And there's an ease in your body when that feeling when just like you can dance, you feel easy in your body, and there's those days that you're like, let's go. Why can't I get a breath here? Why can't I just really take that in? But yeah. But I think most days when you get up and you say your prayers and you're like, what it's going to take that day. Yeah. And sometimes it takes more. I get that. There are days that we get off balance and it's not easy, and there's days that it's like, wow, I aced that one, but you don't always. Yeah.
Did we? I feel like we just aced that one. Is there anything else we need
I don't
to talk
know.
about?
I mean, is there anything else we need to talk about?
Okay, let me just
Tell
say,
me.
like, I met you, where did I meet you? I met you at a Green Spa Network conference. Wasn't it the first time?
Was that the first time?
I think so. Or we met at Spa Tech. I would say
No, it was Green Spa.
we met at Green Spa.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing that stood out so much to me about you were your glasses and your beautiful lipstick, and that you're just so creative and you have such a vibrant spirit. And I mean, I think you're a little older than me.
Yeah, I'm quite a bit older than you.
You're such a good role model for me, as in terms of like getting older. I want to be like you.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else that you would want to add in terms of like your woman's wisdom, or any insights, or anything you've learned lately, or anything that's current for you, or that's top of mind?
This aging thing is so interesting. It really is interesting. I just went to see a Rolfer who was about my age. We're both in our 60s, and he was like, 60? How do we get here? Like, I never thought that would happen. And I thought, that's it. I never thought this would happen. But it's pretty interesting, you know, this like aging thing, and how we get to really be comfortable with it and not try to hang on to our youth and be that person. But you don't want to say, I'm not going to be, 60 that our parents were, maybe not your parents, but my parents. But it's an interesting journey that we're on here. And I think for me, my friends are talking about retirement, and I'm like, I hate that word. I can't use that word. That word, it's like, I have to come up with a new word. It's like transition, new phase, whatever it is.
Do you ever really retire? I mean,
no, you can't. But that word just sounds like you're going to sit at home and get fat and watch. I don't know, watch TV. I don't know. Yeah, but I won't. So I think that's kind of the next phase that I'm really trying to figure out. Okay, if I'm not working at Kabuki, what am I doing?
Ooh,
I don't know.
that's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Do you have any inklings? Not yet.
Not yet. The place where I have the roses is a little tiny 1890s cottage in Napa. It's right in downtown Napa.
Wow.
I have a tenant in there, but that's the next place I'm going to live.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Aging, it's such a trick, but it's good for the, instead of the alternative. And there's only one.
That's what my 87-year-old grandmother used to say.
Yeah.
It's the alternative.
Death.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you do when you wake up and you see a new wrinkle, or you see like, I'm seeing it just now. It's like, oh wow, this gravity thing is really.
It's the gravity thing. It's like, I used to have a jawline. I did. Yeah. But I'm not gonna do any surgery. I won't spend my money that way. I'd much rather go on a fabulous trip. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I see a lot of my women friends doing a little of this, and it's just, I won't do it just because because what if it turned out wrong? There's that, but also I think it's so scary I'd just rather spend my money different ways.
Don't you think too that women, no matter what the age, it's really not so much the external, it's really the radiance that's coming from the inside.
Yeah. And I think, I'm pretty lucky. I've got pretty good skin. I've been, that part I can do. But there's some physical stuff. I've got a little arthritis in my joints now that, it's like, oh, that's not so much fun. But you deal with it. You learn to deal with it. And it's all going to be, it's better than the alternative. Yeah. I'm lucky. I'm 60-something years old, and I have those years of wisdom, which is, I'm so fortunate. Yeah.
Kathy, what do you think is we've gotten the sense of like the world is changing in a way that it's moving away from what we would call the male-dominated paradigm, hierarchy, competition,
right,
all of that, moving into a more feminine paradigm of collaboration and community. And do you see any of that, or do you?
Well, I've been so lucky, I think, that I've always been in this industry. So I have never had to work in a job that had that paradigm. So, and I've never had to really be in that world. So I've been so lucky this way. But yes, I do think that it's interesting. A friend of mine and I were talking yesterday, and the world right now is like, there's so much interesting revolution going on, interesting things, coming down. But at the same time, there's more evil in some ways in the world right now too. And I mean, I know it's always been that way, but we're in a very interesting time, I think, in terms of what's happening worldwide. But I was having lunch with some people yesterday and talking about, we are just to be American women, we are so fortunate. Where we were born, the time we were born, what we're getting to see right now. I really, I count my blessings for that. Yeah. Because, oh my Lord, those young women in Africa, what's going on there, that is so frightening. Yeah. Yeah. That's a downer.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell me more about what you mean, Lisa, about shifting to the matriarchal paradigm.
I'm seeing it like in everything from even the rise of the internet. I mean, it's taken a long time, but the fact that we all talk to each other.
Yes.
And the marketing is us friends talking to friends.
Yeah.
And rather than from the top broadcast message down, talking head, one guy is important, the rest of us are nobody. We're all important. And I think that for me, I see that as part of the solution. Like that is a key part of the solution to the worldwide situation, is unleashing the potential in each person.
Yes.
Rather than have everybody wait for that, message from the top.
I also think, we just went through a core value statement for the new company Commune, and it's all about, I love this new CEO that we have, because it's all about really being a good person. It's not about, because in Joie de Vivre, we've always known that if you have your core values, if you treat your employees well, they're going to treat your clients well, and the clients, and then that's going to make the owners happy. And it has always been, we do it as a heart, but that just is, of course. But for me, what's top of mind right now is relationships in business are the most important thing. I'm really trying to teach the women that I work with that it is, if they can form good relationships with vendors, with employees, with their staff, of course, but with the community that we work in, with the Japanese community, with, those relationships are what it's all about. That will get you further than anything else.
Right.
You just have to do that.
Right.
And I've always been in a women-dominated business because I've always been in spa, so I just feel like it's never really been the issue for me. But I do work with a lot of younger women that I really try to teach a certain brand of feminism to, and I feel like that's been one of the greatest journeys for me, is that I get to do a lot of mentoring. I get to do a lot of mentoring for these women that I work with that maybe haven't had that opportunity, or certainly haven't come up through that part of feminism, but so they don't understand it. But I think that it's really been a very good, that's where I feel the best, is when I get to really talk to and mentor some of these younger women about how to be, how to empower themselves.
And speaking of Japantown, We're in the middle of Japantown in San Francisco.
Yes.
And
it's a funny little place.
yeah. So
Yeah.
where's the best place to eat?
Suzu. It's the freshest little noodle place that's down on the first floor of the mall, and it is 3 kinds of noodles within the most delicious broth and fresh ingredients. It's fantastic. Yeah, that's my favorite. Yeah.
I feel like it's time for lunch.
Yeah.
That was really great.
Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you so much for listening to The Flower Lounge. I'm Katie Hess, and we'll be releasing a new podcast every Wednesday. If you like what you heard, or you know someone who might be touched by our conversation, share it with them. And don't forget to subscribe. To find out what your favorite flowers mean about you, take the quiz at LOTUSWEI.com.